Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is AHMED, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at Hollywood, the devil's industry itself. This goes for the music, the movies, the TV shows, the video games, everything that's pumped out of these Hollywood movie, fake acting, fantasy industries. Are very demonic. They're made to brainwash us. They're made to take us away from the straight path of God Almighty. They're made to reshape and rewire our morality, what we believe to be moral. They're meant to desensitize us, take away our sensibility on specific things, because we are revealed to so much of this through movies and games and things of this nature. So I found a video from Rational Believer, awesome YouTube channel, and this video is called The Army of Satan Part 30. There are 30 episodes to this, and it's called Devil's Industry Hollywood. So we're going to be deep diving, taking a look at Hollywood and seeing from this guy's perspective how exactly the devil has infiltrated his way into Hollywood, why Hollywood is the satanic industry, and how it goes ahead and brainwashes the masses. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this.
There are many tools at Satan's disposal to misguide society, and one of the most effective tools among them is magic. Those who've watched episode 9 and 10 of this series know that a key aspect of magic is to delude and deceive people through vision.
Sihr is a reality in the world, and people practice magic. And one of the practices is through the eyes, seducing the eyes in television and spectacle. It's the sihr of the ayun.
Hollywood itself is a word. The word is interesting because it's a word that comes from a pagan. Hollywood is the holy wood, and it was the wood that the magical wands were made out of in the pagan sorcery, magic. And these wands were believed that the sorcerers that possessed them could put people into trances and control them. This is part of, this is symbolic, but it's also important to understand that part of what Hollywood literally does is it puts people into trances. It's a dream state. They call it the dream machine in the United States. And it creates fantasies for people. It puts people into these sleep. Now, one of the things that's interesting that in the part of what's done in movie theaters, in darkened rooms where people watch television, is literally a trance state that occurs. It's what's called suspended state of disbelief. You enter into a state, you suspend your belief and enter into a state whereby you begin to believe what you internally realize is imagination. It's falsehood. Films are magic. It's just magic. You go and you watch these things and people get caught up in them. People cry during films. All this catharsis that takes place in these things. And this is an important element in the control mechanism.
People mainly use magic.
So like he's saying, magic is used very much in a lot of things, but number one thing that magicians use to get to people is vision. And if they can deceive your vision, then you'll believe what's happening in front of you. A magician's number one thing that they learn is, especially like when I was a kid, I used to do magic tricks with cards. When I used to do magic tricks with cards, number one thing I learned is the state of deception. You have to deceive the person you're doing the trick on to look somewhere or to not be watching what else you're doing in the background. So as you're playing this completely different plan in front of this person's face, they have no clue. They're watching this over here. They think everything's all good over here, but over here, you could be completely dismantling their life. You could be completely ruining them. You could be like, it's crazy to me that this is how the world works. The world works in this magic way, this illusionist type of way, in these industries and these companies and everything that works. It works in this magic way, this way of deception, deceiving the customer or deceiving the person that is getting it fed to not know what to believe, to not know what to think, and this is where a belief system of a human being lacks. This is where the faith in God lacks, and this is where we start worshiping other things. We start turning and giving our power to other things. This is why our societies are depressed. This is why they're suicidal. This is why, kids, they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to engage with people, and it's because of stuff like this. And he's right. When you sit there and you engage with the screen and you're locked into that screen, your brain doesn't know the difference. It's feeling the emotions. It's crying. It's laughing. When I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm in a crazy scenario, my heart starts pumping. My heart thinks I'm about to actually die. Now, in real life, I'm not going to die. I'm not physically going to die. But my brain thinks, like, there's only 2 guys left. Don't die. You have to get this win. If you die, it's over. Your team's counting on you. Like, all of these emotions are real. And they're going through your body. They're going through your brain. Your brain is a computer, and your computer is processing that. So, yes, the reality of it might be different than what you're actually feeding your brain. But feeding your brain this, especially for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, it's going to have a detrimental effect on all of us.
For 3 purposes. First, to cause disbelief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and believe in a delusional fake power. Second, to destroy the fabric of society, like causing separation in families and destroying morality. And third, to put people in a state of trance, which makes them weak and sometimes opens the gate for devils of jinn to come and control them. And these 3 purposes are the main concerns of those who are behind this evil industry, because they want a secular society of weak, isolated individuals whose lives are being controlled by them and are constantly indoctrinated to believe that what they see is real.
The corporate elite is a very small...
And I want to make this very, very clear right now. If you're a human being who has decided to turn away from God in every aspect of your life, there's a difference if you're someone who's Christian, Muslim, Jewish, and you're praying and you're fasting and you're trying your best, you're researching and you're learning things, and you have an addiction to playing video games or you have an addiction to smoking cigarettes. This is different, okay? This is completely different than the people who are completely lost. They're transgender. They don't believe in God at all. They're atheists. They're swap and spit with who they want. They're talking how they want. They create their own morality. They just do whatever they want. At this point, when you do that, you become so physical. You've become so attached to the physical world and your physical desires that God leaves you alone. And that's very scary because you no longer have an interaction with your spirit. It's just you trapped in this physical body running around doing physical things. And that scares me because I can feel my spirit. I am a spiritual person. Without my spirit, I would be depressed. I would be sad. I would be lost. I would not know what to do. My spirit guides me to make the right decisions instinctually in specific moments. The right decisions meaning not like when to eat or not when to eat. Like when to save this person or not when to save this person. When to, to pick this up and drink it or not to pick it up and drink it. My temptations are easier to manage. My problems are easier to manage. My everything is actually easy to manage. My stress, my emotion, my everything is easy to manage when I have God with me, when I have my faith, when I'm connected to my soul. But a lot of people, they don't have that. And they're controlled by these industries. And they become robots. They become straight up these things. Like these zombies, these TV zombies.
Constantly indoctrinated to believe that what they see is real.
The TV's thinking for them is their brain. And their brain is just processing it.
The corporate elite is a very small group of people. They really are. It's not a large group of people. And these people definitely have very powerful agendas. And they're working towards them.
Iblis and his army understand the power of media and visual imagery on people's psyche, recognizing that a movie is far more effective at conveying their message than dozens of books. Through visual media, we absorb the entire message without needing to focus on the details, meaning a huge part of the message reaches to our conscious mind, while another part infiltrates our subconscious. Knowing this, they deliver carefully crafted messages to our subconscious using various techniques such as symbolism, subliminal messages, music and sound effects, character archetypes, and repetition. By engaging these methods, movies can influence thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in ways that viewers might not consciously recognize.
With this New World Order, also along with the military aspect of the Junud, or the minions, or the armies, is the propaganda war that takes place. And really, in the Western Hemisphere, this war has been going on for a very long time to literally control the minds of human beings. Patterns in terms of brainwashing people, one of them was repetition, to constantly repeat over and over again. And this is something that the corporate world has taken up. The idea of jingles in advertisements and these things, this continual repetitive nature of advertising, literally getting people to constantly...
You guys want to know that this is not BS? There's two subjects I suggest you study. One, and the number one subject I suggest you study, is psychology. Learn as much about the human brain as you possibly can, how your brain works, how your conscious and subconscious work, how this repetition, like he's talking about, how this affects your brain, how all of these different things affect your brain, reinforcement, and all of these things. Psychology and understanding the human brain won't just allow you to understand your brain, it'll allow you to understand everyone else's brain. Advertisers, the people who run the world, own the world banks, run the governments, they understand psychology at the highest level, and they are playing a psychological game with us all. When they get on stage and they do their debates and they have their elections, they're lying to us the whole entire time for 10 months. They're lying straight through their teeth. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It's because they've learned psychology. They've learned how to win over 50 million to 100 million people's hearts and not doing anything at all, just talking on a stage. So this is psychology. This is one of the most important things you could possibly utilize. And knowing these things will allow you to control other people and have control over other people. It'll also allow you to not be controlled by other people. And this is why I'm telling you guys to learn psychology, is because if you understand how the human brain works, you understand how your brain works. And when something like these big corporations, advertisers, or movies, or video games, when they're trying to manipulate your brain will pick up on it, because you understand the psychology of how your brain works. So you understand when something is affecting you. You understand when something's entering your mind, entering your subconscious. When you normally wouldn't realize it and it would just slip in, you would realize it now. That's because you understand how your brain works. So psychology is very, very important to know, okay? And the second subject is finance. Understand how money works, especially the US dollar. US dollar is a completely fake currency. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything. It's backed by debt and credit, okay? So understanding how money works, this is very important, because we all work for money. We all need money to survive. And if you don't know how it works, then you're working for nothing. You're literally just working towards nothing, okay? So those two things, if you understand how money works and you understand how the human mind thinks and operates and works to just even a basic degree, just basic psychology, 10-minute YouTube video, just understanding how the brain works, then I think you're set in life, like literally set in life. If you understand money and how the human brain works, that's how you control the whole world. So this is what these people do. They control the money, they control the subconscious brain and the conscious brain, where they blast all this information out to us in repetition and all these things, because they understand psychology and finance. And this is how they control the world. This is how they control your mind. This is how they control you financially. This is how they control you morally. This is how they control you in every aspect of your life. They control your kids' lives. They control your future generations' lives. So
be reminded through jingles, oftentimes using rhyme jingles and these type of things. Also certain images. There have been studies that have been done in terms of the neurological effects of viewing pornography that are very frightening. And unfortunately, these have been done at major universities in the United States. I don't know about the European research. The studies have been done in Stanford, indicate some very frightening results of people that watch pornography, the effects that it has not only on behavior, what is termed cognitive dissonance, and the actual attitudinal changes that take place in order for a self to maintain integrity after being exposed to this constant sensual bombardment. So this is all part of this. Now Hollywood plays a very important role in this, and we can see the marriage between the political and the media aspects, especially in the United States. The politicians and the media people are very much entrenched in each other's business.
Hollywood is indeed a powerful, shadowy entity that goes beyond mere entertainment.
You guys will notice something too. Artists who are like musicians are best friends with the fashion industry, and they're best friends with politicians, and those politicians are best friends with sports players, and vice versa. All these industries that are separated and segregated are all connected somehow, some way, and they're all controlling us in somehow, some way, and brainwashing us in somehow, some way. It's not just Hollywood in the movies, it's the music, it's the video games, it's basic entertainment on the side of the street almost at this point, because they have so much control over everything now. Everything's like a spider web. It's interconnected through the internet and through television and through all of this stuff. It's just mind-boggling to me how much control they have from a central point, and how much people actually listen without even paying attention or caring or noticing. It's like so slow, and it slithers just into their head, and then as they grow, they just mature into this thing that they never created of themselves, but was artificially constructed.
It is systematically working to promote a series of agendas that align with the interest of an elite group, seeking to manipulate society's morals, beliefs, and perceptions for nefarious purposes. Among the themes identified are the promotion of immorality, normalization of controversial behaviors, forced atheism, alien agendas, mockery of religion, misinformation, fear-mongering, and even promoting Satanism. Hollywood is intentionally eroding society's moral foundations by glamorizing immoral behaviors, such as substance use, infidelity, and extreme violence, which aims to make such behaviors appear exciting or even desirable, gradually wearing down society's moral values and promoting a more permissive, morally ambiguous society.
Yep, going to school, getting a job, having a family, praising God. That's not cool. Shooting guns and doing drugs and effing bitches and getting money. And this is what is cool. This is what we do in our society. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And yeah, that's what the culture is there. There's nothing to do in Detroit. It's cold most of the year. It's boring most of the year. Most people, they just drink, smoke, sit in basements, go to the movie theater or bowling alley. That's what you do for fun in Detroit, or the movies. It's just more brainwash. And you know what you do before you go to the movies or you go to the bowling alley? You do drugs and you drink. And this is what people did my whole entire life. Going in and out of high school, going out, doing whatever the case may be. This is what people did. People didn't know what to do. And it's so sad to see that this is what life has become. Life has become this cycle of trying to chase these famous people's lifestyle, like Chris Brown or Drake or Justin Bieber, whatever the case may be. And we get tattoos like them, and we get, we do the same drugs as them, and we drink like them. We think it's cool to go spend $1,000 at a club in one night like them, but it's not. None of it's cool. It's all a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of morality. It destroys your soul. It does nothing but destroy you. And it's sad to see, but this is what's promoted in our society, is destruction. This deceptive idea that what's bad for us is good for us, and what's good for us is bad for us, is straight up what we were talking about in the beginning about deception and making people see something different than what's actually going on. Is their vision's blurry. A magician's best trick is to not make the person in front of them know what's happening, to deceive them so they don't know left or right.
Hollywood is actively engaged in a process of normalization, whereby ideas and behaviors once deemed controversial or unacceptable are gradually made to appear normal. By continuously exposing audiences to these themes, Hollywood is conditioning the public to accept them, and this is how it shifts societal norms and values.
If you look, all of the research that we have indicates that media violence has increased in quantity, but it's also more graphic, more sexual, and more sadistic. This is the khutawat al-shaytan. If you watch films from the 1940s, the 1930s, the 1950s, you can see it's slow. This is how shaitan gets people. يَسْتَدْرِجُهُمْ. He pulls them step by step. These are his khutawat. You start watching films, they've introduced violence. In my country, one of the landmark films was a film called Bonnie and Clyde with, what's his name? See, people know, Warren Beatty. Yeah. There's a hadith that in the end of time, the shayateen will take forms and they'll tell you fictional stories, and you'll say, I can see his face, but I don't know his name. It's in Sahih al-Bukhari. And there's a website of actors. The website is called You Know Their Faces But Can't Remember Their Names. That's a hadith. It's amazing. Sadaqa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So that film was a major change in America in cinematography, because before that, graphic violence was not permitted. But this film showed blood, gore. Now that film looks tame compared to what they have out. These are the khutawat of shaitan. And shaitan wants violence and sex are his two, these are because they're very powerful for the human psyche. And these are the two ways that he can really corrupt the heart.
So it's the number one thing that's in every movie. It's the number one thing that's in every song. It's the number one thing that's in like all the video games. Everything now is violence and sex. And he's right. Those are the number two things that will take control of you. Those temptations will take control of you more than anything on this planet. When you are super angry at something or someone, there's no stopping you. You just want to keep going. And when you're angry, you might do something and you don't even realize you did. You might kill someone and not even realize how you did it. You might hit someone so hard and not even realize how hard you hit them, because your anger takes control of you. You lose control of yourself. Same thing happens with sex. When you are sexually attracted to someone, or you are very, 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 whatever, in the moment, it's very hard to turn back from that. When you are aroused and you are, the case is, that's it. You're trapped. It's almost like a spell has been put on you, right? When you have this, sexual attraction to somebody, it's almost like they can't do any wrong. It's like they're perfect in your head almost. And it's just like this weird overcoming feeling where you're overtaken by these two emotions. This feeling of love and compassion, this feeling of, sex, and then the feeling of violence, anger, which will drive you so far in a specific direction that you don't even know what happened. You can't even remember. You've lost yourself completely. So this is 100% right. This is number two things. The music industry, the movie industry, all these industries, they focus on is drugs and sex. Because they know as long as people are not in the right state of minds, and they can't control their emotions, and they're getting really angry, or they're getting really, really horny and sexual, then they'll make terrible decisions. And the more terrible decisions they make when it comes to these two things, they won't be able to control them. They'll spiral out of the way. Because most people, they can't control their anger. Most people, they can't control their sexual temptations. They don't know how to say no. They don't know how to stop or question themselves. They just jump into a bad situation. So this is what shaitan, this is what the devil uses the most to tempt people into making these bad decisions. And usually once they make these bad decisions, it's really hard to get out of them, because these are two things that they really take you deep.
So they know what they're doing.
Another aim of Hollywood is that it is systematically undermining religious faith and promoting atheism. Through negative portrayal of religious characters and positive depictions of secular or atheist individuals, Hollywood is encouraging the public to abandon religious beliefs in favor of secularism, which aligns with the interest of a global elite seeking to diminish the belief of society in God.
And when I said that the Muslims are the wrench in the whole machine, these people recognize the potential threat of Islam. Brzezinski, who was the National Security Advisor to
Islam is not a potential threat to them. It is a 100% threat to them. It is the exact antidote and correction to everything that they're doing. This is why they don't like it. And this is why they will continue trying to destroy it. And Islam has already been infiltrated. Don't think Islam has not have been infiltrated a long time ago. Yes, my Quran is preserved. Yes. The religion is what it is. But trust me, in the mainstream of things, if you guys are not reading the Holy Quran, you are not understanding things for yourself, you are not diving into your hadith books, you are not questioning things. It's okay to question things. It's okay for your sheikh or your dad or your mom to look at you crazy. Wallah, I promise you, akhi, brother, sister, if you have questions and it's going to piss your parents off or piss your sheikh off or piss whoever off, ask them. That means it's a good question. If it's going to piss them off, it's going to make them mad, it's a good question. The reason it makes them mad is because they don't have an answer. Or they don't want to answer because they don't want to give you the actual truth. So, I'm going to tell you this right now. One thing I learned my whole entire life, I don't care if you're Sunni, I don't care if you're Shia, I don't care if you're Christian. Every time I ask my parents or ask my uncle or ask my sheikh or ask people these questions, they give me these half answers. And if they didn't know, they'd point me to some type of answer and just, I'd leave it at that. And I go my whole entire life not really understanding why. And this made me not really want to dive into my religion or not really care as much about my religion. So I started getting older and I started diving in myself. Started reading the Quran myself. Started reading hadith myself. Started understanding things myself. When I had a question, I went and found it myself. Okay? Yes, if I then went and found something and I didn't completely understand it, I would take it to a sheikh, I'd take it to somebody, and I'd talk about it, right? But you have to do the work yourself, or you're not going to understand anything that is happening. Being fed information, if that's about religion or if that's about, drugs and sex, if it's being fed to you and you're not trying to research this stuff yourself, you're not trying to figure these things out for yourself, figure out the pros, the cons, what's good, what's bad, why you even do something, then it's irrelevant. It becomes completely irrelevant. So
Carter, during the Carter period, has written a book called Out of Control. And it's about the state of the world affairs right now, out of control. In that book, he says that right now there is literally in the field of ideas, there is no potential idea that could take on a mass movement as a reinvigorating element in human societies other than Islam right now. This is what he says, that all of these other philosophies...
Pause. Sorry, guys. If you're Muslim, I'm just letting you guys know there's 2 billion of us. 2 billion Muslims are not going to be in the Mahdi's army. 2 billion Muslims are not correct. 2 billion Muslims is a lot. Okay? When I say a lot, I mean it's a lot of people to be right about something. Especially there being 1.8 billion Sunni Muslims. Are all these Sunni Muslims going to be in the Mahdi's army fighting the Dajjal? Are these 1.8 billion Sunnis, are they correct? Is their religion correct? Who runs the Sunni religion? Who runs Saudi Arabia and controls Mecca and Medina? Who are these kings and queens who are throwing music concerts as people are being blown up? Who are these kings related to? Where does their bloodline reach back to? Yazid, who killed the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon his family, who literally went to the Kaaba and broke the Kaaba, tried to destroy the Kaaba, raided Mecca. That's the man whose grandchildren are now running Mecca and Medina. It's very, very sad to see how history has gone. It's very, very sad to see how everything has gone. But Islam has also been infiltrated to a degree. And yes, the mainstream of Islam has been infiltrated. So please be very, very careful getting your religious knowledge online. From me, from anyone. Please do the research yourself. When you hear things, please open your Quran. Open the Bible, open the Hadith, open whatever you need to do. Look at my Quran. You see this? I had answers. I went and looked for them. Every single one of these pages, it's marked up. You see all the tabs? Each spot that I found interesting or had a question or anything on, I marked it with a tab, and then I wrote with a see-through sticky note, so I'd understand what I was marking. So different ways you can go ahead and answer your own questions. Wallah, I promise you. And when you're doing the work yourself and you're asking God to guide you, God's going to give you every single answer, I promise you. Wallahi, guys, do the work yourself. Pray. Ask your creator to guide you. Ask your creator for answers, and your creator will give you answers you never thought were possible. He'll show you things that you didn't think existed. I promise you. It is insane. Alhamdulillah.
And ideologies have literally fallen by the wayside, and he said the vibrancy of Islam is still present and manifesting himself.
Hollywood is frequently mocking and belittling religious beliefs, particularly Christianity and Islam. Through satire, comedy, and subversive narratives, it attempts to diminish the credibility and influence of these religions, contributing to a broader agenda to weaken religious beliefs and promote secularism.
My Twitter bio literally reads, proud Muslim lesbian.
Is that Dua Lipa? You can't be a proud... I guess you can. You can be a Muslim lesbian. Being lesbian doesn't denounce you from being Muslim. I mean, you still believe in God. You still understand the religion of Islam for what it is. But being lesbian and proud, plus being Muslim, like which one are you more proud of? Being lesbian or being Muslim? Because they don't go hand in hand. So that's what he's talking about. They're forcing this agenda. They're pushing it on us, and
they are making the society ready for a future revelation.
We pay for it. We entertain it. We watch it. We give it to playtime. We give it to hours. Yes, they promote it, but we eat it up.
Or deception involving extraterrestrial life. By saturating media with alien-themed content, Hollywood is desensitizing the public, making them more accepting of the idea of aliens. This way they try to hide the truth of the existence of God.
100%. I personally don't believe that we live on a spinning ball in the middle of a solar system, flying around the sun at millions and millions of miles per hour, and our Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and this magical force called gravity is holding it all together. I don't believe that. I believe God Almighty created the Earth, just like God Almighty told us He created the Earth throughout the religious scriptures for thousands and thousands of years. He created it starting with water. Water is the essential to everything. He took the water and wind. He utilized wind with water to create the skies and the levels of the heavens, and he utilized this water to go ahead and vegetate and create the land and the vegetation and everything of this nature. Then he created beings, and he created human beings with free will. Okay, so this is how I believe it to be. I don't believe we're on the spinning ball flying through universes. There's aliens. We can go to other planets and live there, and it's sustainable. No. God Almighty created us. He put us here. The test is here. This is our domain. We cannot leave. There's no exit. Not for us, not for the demons, not for the angels, not for anyone. We are 100% locked into this planet. This was created for us. This is created for our test, and we will remain here until we die. Every single one of us until the end of times. This idea of aliens is BS to me. And like he said, they're trying to familiarize us with this idea that the universe is so expansive. There's life everywhere. Is God even real? Were we created by aliens? This concept of like never-ending amounts of anything is possible is just ignorant. This idea of the universe is forever expanding and, unlimited or whatever the case may be, the universe that you live in is ridiculous. Because you're not unlimited. You're limited. You're a limited being, and you come from the universe, right? Which means at some point, the box that you're put in, right, the physical world that you're put in is also limited. But the thing that created it is unlimited. Do you understand? And this is where these things also play a big problem with me. If everyone found out that the Earth actually wasn't a ball flying through space and there wasn't aliens, that you're trapped here, and we're in this enclosed system that looks like a dome. When you look up at this guy, it looks like a big cap dome lid on top of our head. And we were all here, and we were trapped here, and we were undergoing a test, and there was nowhere to go. There was nowhere to run, and this place was recreated. everyone would bow down and praise the creator. But when you tell people the world's unlimited and the universe goes forever and there's aliens and there's other life and you can do whatever you want and a guy could be a girl and a girl could be a guy, you don't know what to believe anymore. No, there's no God. There's this, there's that. Celebrate Christmas and like change. Like, who cares about Jesus' birthday, Santa Claus and presents and financial debt? Like, it's ridiculous. The world we live in today, it's so manipulative. It's so scary. It's so gross. And these aliens that they talk about, they exist. And they're not from other planets. They're from here. And they are literally just in another realm. They're called jinns. Demons. They're not aliens. They're demons. Presenting bias or originated verses of reality, they shape public perceptions the way they benefit political or corporate interests. Spread of misinformation is a way to control the narrative and keep the public misinformed about crucial issues. Yep, critical issues. That's fine.
Views of how they promote Satanism. Through the frequent use of occult symbols, dark themes, and the glorification of anti-religious and demonic figures, Hollywood is normalizing and even glamorizing satanic practices. The promotion of Satanism is seen as part of a larger agenda to undermine traditional religious values and pave the way for a society that is more accepting of dark occult practices.
This is what they worship, these Satanists, Baphomet. If you notice, he's androgynous, so it's a male-female mixture. Also making these signs. You see the signs he's making using this sign because 11 is the devil's number. Because 11 is one beside one. So this is Anton LaVey.
Before we continue, when it comes down to like holidays, like I said, like Christmas that's coming up. I'm sorry guys, but Christmas is a pagan holiday. Like, there's nothing to do with Jesus. Getting a tree and lighting it up. Lighting it up stands for lighting it on fire. And putting presents under the tree is like an offering. So you're putting offerings under this tree and then lighting it up for a demon. It's literally it's a sacrifice offering. You're doing a ritual. With Easter and the Easter eggs, you're putting these offerings inside of these eggs and you're hiding them around and you're going to look for them. It's like there's such a paganistic root to every single one of these holidays that are celebrated today. Thanksgiving, all of these different holidays are aligned with Roman pagan belief systems, with Roman pagan rituals. They used to summon these demons, they used to summon these jinn, these spirits, and they used to give them offerings, and they used to have them do tasks for them and do all types of things for them. So this is kind of crazy to me. Like, they're gods, you know, like Zeus and Poseidon, whatever the case may be. This is crazy to me that today that we're still celebrating these things, but now they're trying to push the next level. Because we have the TV, we have the internet, we have these things that we can physically brainwash people with and make it a lot easier for us. So maybe we could push the level to the next level. Maybe people will start dressing like devils. Maybe people will become transgender. Maybe people will just openly become gay and everyone will become gay and stop having kids and spreading disease. Maybe, you know what I mean? So this is how they think now, and this is the agendas that they're pushing. They're pushing them hard. They don't have to use things like Christmas to get you to do these little satanic rituals without you knowing anymore. They can just show you the satanic ritual in your face. They probably sacrifice a baby in the middle of the street, and within 10 years, everyone will be sacrificing babies.
The birth of TV was a magical event foreshadowing its satanic.
Because 10 years ago, if you told me about transgenderism, I would have freaked out. Now it's normal. I see transgenders all over the place. You told me about gay, people being openly gay and getting married and swapping spit on TV. If you told me that 20 years ago, wouldn't have believed it. What about now? Well, it is what it is. So as time goes on, 10 years, incest, child rape. I mean, what else? Like, what else is going to become acceptable?
Significance. TV's infiltration has been so gradual. You see, khutuwat. It goes slowly. so gradual, so complete that no one even noticed. Shaitan has till Yawm al-Qiyamah. Anzirni.
So, Anton LaVey, I think is his name. He was the head of the Church of Satan. He led it for a lot of artists and different things like this. He said that TV is the next stage for Satan. It's the next mind control manipulator for Satan. And the thing is, it's so good about TV is it's progressing so slowly and so gradually that it's going unnoticed by everyone. They're just being slowly brainwashed as the years go on, and as the TV progresses and as the technology progresses, they're getting more and more brainwashed.
Shaitan has till Yawm al-Qiyamah. Anzirni. Give me time. And Allah said, you have till Yawm al-Qiyamah. And he said, I'm going to get them all. I'll get them all. He has time. He's slow. He works slow. He works at you slowly. Shaitan takes his time. People don't need to go to church anymore. They get their morality plays from television and the movies. That's what teaches them morality. Many of you already read my writings indicating that TV is the new God. There is a little thing I neglected to mention up till now. Television is the major mainstream infiltration for the new satanic religion. Anton LaVey wrote this. Now, this is a man who had several actors and actresses that were his followers. They were literally his followers. So he's not talking as some kind of marginalized. This is somebody who had influence in Hollywood. And one of his followers had a heavy influence on many of the major directors in the United States.
So just so you guys know, Anton LaVey, or Anthony LaVey, he is the head of the Church of Satan. His wife looks exactly like Taylor Swift, which a lot of people are talking about. Taylor Swift calls herself a witch as well. Here, I'll show you guys real quick. The wife. That's how we do it. Okay, so this is Anton LaVey's wife, right here. Do you see this, ladies and gentlemen? And this is Taylor Swift. Oh, that's a really small picture of Taylor Swift. Can I get like a little... There we go. Yo. Guys. You tell me they don't look like the same exact person? What about on this album cover? Dude, we don't see her face. See where she was born. It's just crazy to me to see the similarity in them. Yo, it's almost spot on, guys. Like, it's literally almost spot on. So, this is what it is. Like, this guy is not a joke. He straight up worships Satan. He believes in Satan. He used to do rituals. He used to recruit artists and actors and all types of things to his church. He's talking about these things, and he's saying Satanism. TV is a new spread of Satanism. And the number one thing about Satanism, and I'm going to tell you guys this, the world is ran by religions. The world is ran by belief. As human beings, it's an instinct to believe. Okay? It's an instinct to believe in something because we don't know everything. So belief is a fundamental core instinct in our survival. If we didn't believe in something in the future, even though we don't know what's going to happen, if we don't have a belief, then we would die. Okay? It's important to our survival is belief. Now, so we're all going to believe in something. We're all going to believe in things that we're unsure of. We have no option because we can't be sure of everything. These people who are Satanists, they believe in Satan. That's what they believe in. And the number one thing that they do, and the number one thing as a part of their religion, is making sure you don't believe Satan's real. Satan's not real. He's fake. We do all these things and rituals and stuff in secrecy. It's a secret society. Everything's called secrecy. Secret society. Secret this. You can't see Satan. Satan is this idea. Satan isn't an actual being or embodiment. He's just an idea. You understand? But they do sacrifices and rituals and all these things for this Satan. but he's not real. It's very interesting. So this is the concept of Satanism, and this concept is widespread through all of the industry. That's music, movies, fashion, everything. And it's everywhere we look, see, turn, and it's very, very sick. It's very, very sad. And I just wanted to show you guys Taylor Swift and that guy, Anton LaVey, his wife. They look exactly the same. It's very interesting because Taylor Swift now calls herself a witch, and she made music about her being a witch, and she has very, very dark subliminal things in her music, shaitan and demonic stuff, as well as killing herself and telling us like she sold her soul and the old Taylor's gone, all this stuff, right? And I want to do a video about the music industry, and we'll dive into that more in depth, but we'll go ahead and finish this video out here.
Amongst these entertainers, I've never seen any normal person do that. Why do they do this? Because this is their religion. They worship and do that amongst these entertainers. Why is there so much one-eye symbolism?
He's making a good question right here, right? Why is there so much one-eye symbolism within these famous people? All the singers, all the actors, the US dollar, everything is this one eye, one eye, one eye. Bro, I can go on my game right now. I can go on my game, Brawl Stars, and it's filled with one eye symbolism. It's filled with it. Filled with it. Look, the Battle Pass skin, right? For the Battle Pass this season. This is it. It's a 6-pointed star. She's covering her left eye. And she has a 6-pointed star in her hand. So the Star of David, or the Brawl Stars logo, which is also the Star of David, and she's covering one eye. And this is not the only skin that does that. There are plenty of skins that do this. And it's so sad to see. Like, here, watch. I'll show you another one. And this is just one game. This is every game, every movie, everything. Start checking for it. Start looking for it. These one eye, one eye, one eye, one, and they know what characters to put them on. They know how to play them. They know what they're doing. The symbolism, it's at its all-time high. They're jamming it into our brains. Here. It's called Cheerleader Rosa. She has the Star of David on her chest. She has horn pom-poms. She has one eye on her forehead with devil horns. And she has one eye closed, and it's glowing yellow. And again, the hexagram or Star of David right on the center of her chest. Like, if this isn't right in your face, like, this is the religion, this is Satanism. That's what Satanism is. That's what the pyramid is on the back of the dollar. That's what all of this garbage represents. This is slavery. This is financial slavery. This is what we worship. This is our new God. We wake up, we go to school, we graduate at 18, we go to college, and we start taking on debt. We get out of college, we work, we go into debt on our house, on our car, until we're 60, 70, 80 years old, all because of this. Financial slavery. We worship this, and then we die, and this was our God. We have nothing to show our real God for it. We have nothing to show our real Creator for it, because we slaved for these people. These people were our gods. It's so sad to see.
Amongst these entertainers, I've never seen any normal person do that. Why do they do this? Because this is their religion. They worship the...
He's right. No one just walks around covering their eye. These people are doing it for a specific reason. It's a symbol. It's to tell you something. So why are people so naive? They think it's a joke. They think it's a game. I don't know. These are the same people who are creating the technology that is so miraculous. These are the same people who are blowing up the world, who have nuclear bombs. I wouldn't be surprised if these people are lying to you once again.
The one-eyed God. And then the pyramid, because they believe in a pharaonic structure. They believe in an elite, and then everybody else, the masses that just follow them and do what they tell them.
In fact, Hollywood consumes you. They consume your time by drawing you into platforms like Netflix and turning it into profit for themselves. And as a result, they make you empty-minded and prevent you from self-development. Without noticing, you lose valuable time that could be spent on more meaningful pursuits. All they promote.
All right, so we'll go ahead and end it there. Good video, good little analyzation. I know it was a little bit of a long one, but if you guys enjoyed it, If you made it to the end, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. God bless every single one of you. This video, again, was called The Army of Shaitan, Part 30. I'll leave the link in the description down below if you want to go ahead and watch it without my reaction. But good video. Watch yourself, guys. When it comes to all of this garbage, pop culture, like movies, TV, music, things of this nature, pay attention to this stuff. Pay attention to the one-eyed things like I just showed you in my video game on Brawl Stars on my phone. It's everywhere. No matter where you turn, where you look, it's everywhere. This one-eyed shaitan, antichrist calling. It's a marketing campaign for the antichrist. The world is in a deceptive state. They want men to be women, women to be... They want everyone confused. Democrat, Republican, left, right, black, white, Christian, Muslim. Everything is like a team versus team thing. They have everyone put against each other. And this is not good for our ummah. This is not good for our world. This is not good for anything right now. We're in a part where the world is very fragile. And its foundation is starting to snap. And Shaitan likes that. The devil likes that. And he's pushing full force, utilizing the technologies, utilizing the internet, utilizing the TVs, utilizing these things that influence people to really, really turn these things of influence into means of worship and to really taking people away from God Almighty and turning these people into something they shouldn't be, into something that they're not. And it's very, very sad to see. It's very sad that this is what society has come to, but be very, very careful. Play around the obstacles as well as you can. And the number one thing you can possibly do, ladies and gentlemen, is establish a strong relationship with your Creator. Call to your Creator every day. Pray for your Creator. Work for your Creator. And I promise you, your Creator will answer when you need it. Thank you guys so much for going today. God bless every single one of you. And until next time, free Palestine, free the Middle East, and free the world of this deception and destruction. God bless you all, and bye-bye.